Alright guys, so here's the review of the San Martin SN036G. So you may have seen me do a little mini review of this previously. I actually did it in the AliExpress sale video. If you haven't seen that one, I'll leave a link to it up here or down in the description if you want to check it out. But this is the full review, so there's going to be a few little extra bits. I had a little bit more time to check it out, find out exactly what it's all about. So as I say, been trying it out for a while. Full disclosure, we sent the watch for free, don't have to send it back, but you know the score. So I'm going to change the way I do my reviews, going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. So question is, do I still think it's a good watch? Have any issues come up since that mini review? Let's jump right in and find out. So here it is, and it is a really good looking piece. But before we go into more detail on it, let's talk about the different options you can get, because there are quite a few. So you got this blue dial option. They also do a black dial option and a green. They also offer a sterile version if you're not keen on that San Martin hexagonal logo. But again, if you don't want a sterile dial, they also offer a custom logo version as well, but you have to pay a little bit extra for that one. So 3 different options there, so hopefully you should be able to find something you do like. And there's also an option when it comes to the movement as well. So this one I have has got the Miyota 8215. Which you probably know does have a few issues. Firstly, it doesn't have hacking, and also the rotor is a little on the loud side. So they also offer it with the newer 8315, which does hack, and it also has a 60-hour power reserve. So it's a pretty significant bump up. I can't comment on the rotor noise obviously because I haven't tried it out. I did try and get one in for review, but they didn't have any at the time, so they sent me this instead. But hopefully at some point I'll get to check one of them out and let you know what they're like. So now let's talk about the dimensions on this. So we've got a diameter of 41.5, thickness of 13.6, lug width of 20, then the all important lug to lug is 48.4, but we do have male end links, so the effective lug to lug is a bit more than that. That's coming in at 51.5. But before you click off, we have actually got quite a bit of curvature to those lugs, so it does wear smaller than that would suggest, and I'll show you that in a bit. So let's get a zoom in on that dial and talk about that a bit more. So you can see we've got that hexagonal logo as I said. We've also got really nice finishing on those hands, really sharply done with that high polish as well. And you can probably also see on that second hand we've actually got a hexagonal bit on there instead of just a normal circle, tying in with the logo. So nice little touch. We've also got a nice high polish on the finishing around those indices as well. All really sharp, really clean. And the dial is actually enamel as well. So it's a beautiful looking dial. You can probably tell that we'd probably need a little bit more AR coating on this really. And I've got a little bit there, but could do with a couple more layers maybe. But really beautifully finished dial and hands. So if we quickly show you the rest of the case while we're zoomed in, you can see we've got a mixture of brushed and polished. Really nice transition between the two, and really nice polished chamfers as well, which carry on onto the bracelet. Absolutely zero sharp edges on this, all nicely rounded off, and as I say, polished, which continues right the way through to the clasp. And again, we've got consistent branding with our hexagonal logo. 4 levels of micro adjust, double pushers, milled clasp. Now this is the only place we've got the different branding, and that's the San Martin Shark. I personally quite like having that on the back. If you're going to put it anywhere, it's definitely the best place for it. And while we're around here, you can see we've got 200 metre water resistance, sapphire crystal and stainless steel, and then there's that other hexagonal logo on the crown as well. You can also see we've got nice polished details on that coin edge bezel and an ever so slight curve to that crystal, so it's not completely flat. Again, quite subtly done. So if we zoom back out,
perfect.
and then we'll talk about this bezel. So it's 120 click, absolutely rock solid, zero play, nice smooth action, and lines up perfectly as well. Another nice little touch is the way they've got these kind of curved, twisted lugs. Again, not original, but nicely done. And we've also got polished little details on the inside of these centre links too. So again, it's just the little touches, the little attention to detail, which is what separates San Martin, I think, from most other AliExpress brands. And we've got screw links on that bracelet as well, which work well. No sticking or slipping or anything. Just all really nicely done. So seeing as we've touched on it, let's check out whether that is actually sapphire crystal. Using the trusty Dermatolux tool. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal. As you pretty much come to expect with San Martin, especially at this kind of price. And it doesn't disappoint. So now, another thing that probably won't disappoint, let's check it out, is the Lume. So you can see you've got a bit there already, but let's charge it up, give it a proper chance. And there we go. So, as you come to expect with San Martin, really impressive Lume. Even in this shot that isn't completely in the dark, it's still glowing really brightly. Which again, just shows you just how good it is. So it's BGW9 on this, consistently applied across the hands and the indices, no patchiness at all. No difference between the hands and the indices, they both last the same amount of time as well, as does that Lume pip. And it lasts a really good amount of time as well. As I say, it's not a fully dark shot this, and you can still see it glowing really brightly, which goes to show just how good the Lume is. So definitely impressive Lume. So before I show you this on wrist, let's quickly talk about the pricing for San Martin. So we all know the pricing of San Martin watches is going up steadily. I know some people aren't happy about this, but I can kind of understand why. I've been saying for a while that I think San Martin now are trying to aim more towards a micro brand kind of status. So they've upped their prices in relation to that. So if you're comparing them to other micro brands, I think pricing wise, they're pretty much spot on. And I'd argue that build quality wise and finishing, they're right up there with some of the best. I'd even argue that they're better than some of the big brands. So you can, in terms of some things, but let me know, what do you think? Can you ever see San Martin as anything other than an AliExpress brand? Can you consider them as a micro brand? I'd be interested to know what your take is. But now let's show you what it's like on wrist, then wrap this up. So this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And as I said, although we've got that over 50mm lug to lug, well, effective lug to lug with those male end links, because they curve down pretty quickly, it does conform to my 7-inch wrist really nicely still. And it is a really good looking piece. I love the way the light plays with all these polished chamfered details. And those high polish on the hands, that lovely enamel dial, ceramic bezel. It's just a really good looking piece. And again, all these little polished details on the edge of the links and on the inside of those centre links as well. I'm glad they finally sorted out the branding so it's consistent across everything, not a mishmash. Just again, shows that San Martin are up in the game again. If I was going to be buying one of these, I'd definitely be going for the 8315, because it's not that much more and you're getting a massive increase in the power reserve. You're also getting hacking, so definitely worth the extra, I think. Plus, it's not a cheap watch, as I discussed earlier, so paying a tiny bit extra for that, I think makes a big difference overall. If you want to check out any other San Martin original design watches, I'll leave some links at the end, but that's it for this one guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.